There's a particular quality of sound that modern music production has spent decades trying to recreate, and, well, mostly failing. That warmth, that slight imperfection, the way analogue hardware breathed, aged, and spoke with a texture that no amount of digital processing has ever completely replicated. Plugins promise it endlessly. Most of them deliver a convincing impression at the very best. Reel-Synth from Partybag Plugins, what a great name by the way, is making a different kind of claim. Not that they've emulated that quality, but they've actually captured it. 7 classic and rare vintage synthesizers sampled both digitally and through a working reel-to-reel tape machine. 2 entirely different sonic worlds baked into one instrument, switchable at the press of a little button. And I want to be transparent with you. From the start of this review, I came into this quite sceptical that such a thing could happen, and we've all encountered the tape emulation promise before. But, well, there's something specific about the way Partybag have approached the engineering here that surprised me, and we'll get to that. Before we get into it though, if you're new here, this channel is built around ambient, cinematic and electronic sound design. Reviews, tutorials, library, deep dives, you name it, we cover it. If that's your world, subscribe and you won't miss a thing. 7 vintage synthesizers, a reel-to-reel tape machine, 1 plugin. Well, let's find out exactly what that combination can actually give you. Let's start with the ambient section, so chamberize. Satisfying ambient pad there. Probably noticed down below a blue shading. That's the playable area for that particular patch. So if you play outside that, you're going to get no sound whatsoever. Move the mod wheel and you get a nice growl to it. So do play with the mod wheel because it does alter the sound. And you can tell if the sound's mono or poly because you've got a little helpful thing here that says mono or poly. So you can always tell whether single keys or you can play more than one key at once. That's a satisfying sound, that. Kalimba. Curious what that test was actually. Right, keys. Some FM style keys. So we have a VST here that brings a sample and synthesis together in a nice, lovely sort of digital, but then you can make it less digital. I've got a nice sparkly bell here. Now, if I press this tape on, notice how it degrades in a beautiful way. That just changes the output of the sound. But one button and you go from a nice pristine digital to slightly unsettling, but still retro and really nice in a way. Baywatch VHS. I want to go through all the patches here because otherwise we will be here all day, and I want to just take you through the interface in a little while. Lots of lo-fi sounds in here. Do one more before we take a quick tour of the interface. So if you're used to subtractive synthesis, then this interface will be sort of very familiar to you what is going to happen here. I'm just going to stick with this little patch. And at the moment we've got absolutely was a reverb on. If I click this arrow, you get more settings to play with. So I'm just going to turn the reverb off for now. As I showed you before, one button degrades it into a nice lovely sort of retro style. You can change your pitch bend or the patch. This is your delay. It's on sync at the moment, or you can unsync it, turn the delay off. You can alter obviously the pitch of the thing. You can also do strumming. That's what if I do it as major minor seventh. So that's a really nifty. Can't have them all on at the same time, but you can do chords inversions. So that's a really nifty way of doing things. So that's up and down inversion of strumming. Velocity, and you can poly mono. Then we have your wonderful filter, so you can turn this into a pad by just turning the attack up. Turn the release. Got a simple filter here, low pass, high pass. So you can get your band pass by using low pass and high pass together. Add some tape to it. So it's more pronounced than this, just the quick tape on button there, and it adds a little more different type of effect. So you can add some hiss to it if you want. And you can go really out there by just doing that. It's got to be my favourite button, that, just that tape on off, just changes it straight away. And got your modulation, reverb. What else have we got on here? Envelope, so filter envelope. Turn the LFO down. Got different. Can experiment with your different wave shapes there. So more on synth. I was more on sample than synth. So you can blend the synth and the sample. So I've got more synth. Add some phase to this. Now we can blend it a bit more. So there's some very basic synthesis parameters here, but it's enough to create some very interesting sounds and take them back into the retro world. We also have the alpha, that's scatters it. Because what we need to do is, if I just press this little bias button here, if you just sort of like want inspiration, instead of patch diving, press this dice button and it'll put my teeth in there, it'll call up a random patch each time. We'll take that one and we're going to here, and we've got an extra set of parameters. We can play with the EQ, and we've got this micro tuner. Just going to offset this a bit. So when I play a D, it's slightly off tune. So you can do some wonderful, interesting sounds. Let's just do this. So you can make it slightly off tune on each individual note, which is really great for the ambient sort of soundscapes, especially if you do pads. Then we can have an arpeggiator. Tell you what, turn that off. And you've got the arpeggiator as well. Let's speed that up to 16. Wang the delay on. You can do random. The order I played them. And you're up and down. And then you can play with your LFO as well, and your envelope, frequency, etc. So there's quite a few modulation sort of bits and pieces that you can actually do, and then you can learn and assign MIDI messages to each parameter. So there's quite a bit of control there. So for something that looks very simple and unassuming, there's quite a lot of synthesis parameters to shape your own sound. So time for a bit of lo-fi chill ambient. So where does Reel-Synth actually take us? Well, it occupies a position in the market that I think is more considered than it might first appear. This isn't a sample library you just sort of like drop in and forget about it. It's not a deep modular instrument that demands weeks of learning with a manual and everything else going on before it gives you anything useful. it sits deliberately between these two extremes, accessible enough that you can open it cold and produce something generally usable in minutes, but laid enough that you won't hit a ceiling too quickly. And the tape versus digital switch is absolute masterstroke, because in practice it behaves exactly the way you want it to. Not as a novelty, but as a meaningful compositional choice. You can have clean and precise, or you can have warm and imperfect. That's a creative decision with absolute fantastic sonic abilities, and having it on a single toggle is well played, basically. Well played. The chord mode with the strum knob is more useful than I first expected it to be for this kind of instrument. For composers building harmonic beds quickly, it really does earn its place, because the feature most people will overlook and later discover is the most interesting thing in the whole plugin, though. And I don't know why I'm going to say this, but it's the micro tuner. Because unique scales, unconventional tuning systems, well, for ambient and cinematic work especially, this is one of the go-to things, just to sort of like give you a lot more real textures and bring them alive. Where Reel-Synth is less convincing is the modulation depth, though, because the routing is functional rather than expansive. And if your workflow lives inside complex modulation matrices, then you probably encounter to that ceiling long before you realise it. It's worth knowing going into this, but it's also not who this instrument is designed for. For ambient composers, film and media scorers, electronica producers looking for organic, textured, tonal material, this sits in the space between vintage hardware character and modern compositional precision. And Reel-Synth delivers all this with a clarity of purpose that, well, a lot of instruments at this price point simply don't have. Because you get 150 presets over 5 gigabytes of sample material, a free yearly expansion pack, and a lifetime license for a one-time payment. That is a fantastic bundle, and there's a fully unlocked 7-day trial that you can download and play with without giving any credit card details. So the barrier to deciding for yourself if this is a synth for you is really essentially nothing. So if this kind of review is useful, do subscribe to the channel. New content drops on a regular basis across this channel. You get reviews, tutorials, library breakdowns, all focused on ambient and electronic sound design. There's a playlist on this channel for all these different reviews that I do, and it's worth exploring if you want to go deeper into synthesizers and patch libraries and how to program particular synthesizers. So until next time, stay creative, stay sonic, and I will catch you in the next one.